Writing is complex and one of the most cognitively demanding activities we ask our students to engage in. To write successfully, learners must coordinate multiple components and processes at the same time. They are generating ideas, sequencing thoughts, selecting vocabulary, organising sentence structure, managing transcription skills, and considering the needs of the reader, all simultaneously. And this places an enormous demand on their working memory, which can hold only a small number of elements at once, roughly 4 to 5. With so many demands competing for attention, it is unsurprising really that writing quickly becomes overwhelming for many students, particularly when they do not yet have a degree of control over sentence construction. And it's not surprising that it's so challenging for us teachers to shift the needle on writing achievement. Yet sentences are the building blocks of all great writing. Without the ability to construct them with some confidence and fluency, our learners' cognitive load when they have to compose texts is just too high. But teachers often feel pressured to move students into writing at length very early in their development and having to produce full compositions within specific text types. Curriculum expectations and assessment tools do little to ease this pressure. And what tends to happen is that instructional time frequently focuses on the whole text level, particularly around text structures and features. Students unpack exemplars, teachers work really hard to model the different parts of a text, and planning tools are used to support organisation. While these approaches are helpful and part of an effective writing program, they take up a large majority of instructional time and leave little time for anything else. This approach tends to overlook the value of the smaller building blocks of great writing, sentences, and we often assume that students already have the sentence level control and the tools they need to turn their ideas into clear, coherent, and confident writing. And as a result, instruction tends to skip over the very aspect of writing that makes being able to engage in extended writing tasks possible. Sometimes even, the writing students produce can be a bit disappointing. Without sentence control, their texts often underrepresent their thinking, rely heavily on simple or spoken-like sentence structures, and show persistent issues with clarity, cohesion, and punctuation. It also becomes increasingly challenging for teachers to manage the diverse writing needs of their whole class and keep them all progressing. But without attention in the right areas, student progress typically plateaus around years 4 or 5, and writing becomes effortful, frustrating, or something to avoid altogether. Ineffective habits, such as sentence fragments, run-on sentences, repetitive structures, and vague meaning, become entrenched over time and increasingly difficult to remediate. The issue then, it's not a lack of effort, motivation or care from teachers or students. Rather, it's sentence level instruction that is the bridge that enables students to turn their ideas into full texts, and yet it's still often overlooked. If we want to genuinely shift the needle on writing achievement, we have to reduce the cognitive load by explicitly teaching students how sentences work and how to use them deliberately and fluently. Therefore, sentence level instruction, SLI, is not a detour from writing at length. It's actually the roadmap that makes writing at length possible. But wait, there's more. The benefits of sentence level instruction extend well beyond improving writing. When sentence level instruction is effective, it has been shown to improve reading comprehension and oral language. It makes sense, right? Students who are familiar with the complex sentence structures used in written texts are more likely to recognise and understand those structures when they're reading and use them when they're speaking. But it's even more powerful when sentence level instruction is embedded within the curriculum content across science, social studies, the arts and other learning areas. Then sentence construction actively develops students' critical thinking capacity, and learning how to build, expand, and manipulate sentences supports them to organise their ideas, to sequence their reasoning, and express increasingly complex thinking with clarity and control. At the same time, it strengthens subject knowledge and long-term retention. Constructing sentences about what they are learning functions as a highly effective form of retrieval practice. Students must actively process information, select what matters, and re-express ideas in their own words, making learning stick and improving transfer to long-term memory. In that way, teaching at sentence level not only improves writing ability, but it also turns writing into a powerful tool for thinking and learning. So it's a double whammy. Literacy levels increase, and cross-curricular learning does too. Crucially though, these benefits are only realised when the cognitive load's carefully managed. So with structured, progressive, sentence-level instruction, students develop fluency and control, freeing up cognitive capacity for meaning, reasoning, and creativity. But what if sentence building was hands-on, visual, and actually fun? What if sentence structure finally made sense to almost every learner? What if students had confidence and control at the sentence level? What if Beck's Blocks was the free teaching tool that transforms writing for your students? So go ahead, check it out at www.tinyurl.com/Beck's-Blocks, both capital B's. And you can find out what it is, why use it, how to use it, what you get, and you can see a video of it in action. Beck's Blocks. Better sentences, stronger thinking, deeper learning.